All right, well, we're back for the discussion of Age of Adaline, and if you watched our review, we gave it a favorable review. We thought it was a movie worth seeing. Definitely one of the better romance movies I've seen in a while. Certainly the best one I've seen in the last 2 weeks. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think what the strengths of the movie are the character of Adaline is really well done. It doesn't go into weird territory, and what I mean by that is you've got the backstory about her and Harrison Ford's character, but it doesn't go into this weird, like, and now Harrison Ford wants her back. Which, like, that was a real possibility for a while there. Like, that he just wouldn't be able to, he wouldn't be able to deal with that. And then, he's the first one to really figure out, like, from the scar on her hand or whatever. Which that I thought was like, okay, that's an interesting way to tie that together. But it seemed like one of the more, I don't know, like, they show this, like, barely, like, I have as much of a scar on my hand as she did in that shot. And it's like, he knows because...
But, I mean, he kind of knew whenever they first met that, when she was saying, oh, that was my mother, that, he kind of was like, well, let me inspect a little bit further.
Yeah.
And ask a little bit more questions. But I think he went about it in a really, really good way just because he wasn't like, did your mother ever tell you about this time when we did this? Did she ever tell you how we went to this place and what we did, blah, 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 blah?
Yeah.
So, like, out of the sake of his family and his wife, I think he went about it really respectfully.
Yeah, it could have been, like, it could have been creepy. It also could have been just, like, this whole, like, it could have been this madcap caper sort of scenario where they just play it for laughs and there's a bunch of, like, joke stuff in it. Like, it could have just been an episode of Frasier for half an hour in there. But it didn't go that direction, and I was happy about it. I just felt like once they got to the parents' house and Harrison Ford saw her, to me it just felt like it took forever to get from, holy crap, you look just like this woman I used to know, to, and you actually are that woman that I used to know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like the flashbacks that they had. Like, he took her someplace that she had never been before, and she was able to take him someplace that, he had never been before. And, kind of just, it's kind of like a little history lesson, but it was still romantic for for that to develop. And I also, I don't know, I think I most of all enjoyed the fact that they didn't rush it. She didn't get married. It wasn't something where they, he had to tell her, like, why is this happening? I mean, she couldn't explain it. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of took it for what she gave him and left it at that and rolled with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't pounding her for questions of, well, when you were this age, what happened? When you were this age, what happened? How many lives have you had? And if they did, I mean, I'm sure that was a side conversation, but they didn't waste time with the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they showed the flashback fairly early of her in the cab pulling up and realizing that he was about to propose. Like, long before you even meet Harrison Ford's character, that all happened. And they were using that at the time to show why she wasn't getting involved with Ellis, the younger guy.
Yeah.
Like, she got into a cab and she had that whole flashback about, it shot back to, like, the 60s, and they didn't show Harrison Ford's face, but they showed him, like,
holding up the ring box.
Yeah, he's, like, handling the ring. So, yeah.
They made the connections really well from each piece of the movie and each aspect of her life to really draw the plot and the storyline along. Mm-hmm. It's very well done. I almost wish she would have ended up with Harrison Ford's character when he was younger. That seemed to be the true romance.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, where I think, like, I was concerned that it was heading that direction because it seemed like it was heading that direction. But again, I think it was really smart that they made it to where she finally got to a place where she was like, this just can't work, and I can't do this, because, had they gotten married, and it's sort of like, and this is a completely ridiculous, I mean, it's an insane jump of a comparison, but in the Highlander. Did you ever see the Highlander? The first one?
Yeah.
No?
I don't think so.
So-
I probably have.
It's a similar deal where Connor McLeod in the Highlander is immortal. And that he doesn't realize that he's immortal until he's like in his 20s or 30s or whatever. And he gets married, and the like community throws him out because he's like, they think he's possessed. They think there's something like evil about him, the fact that he won't age. And he goes through the pain of outliving his wife. Like, not only does he outlive her, but he remains young and she ages and dies. And he goes through all of that. And that's like the most heartbreaking thing, or the most heartbreaking thing they could have done, versus she just didn't show up the day that he was going to propose.
That's actually a really good
That's a great
connection,
one.
because I half expected Who Wants to Live Forever to come on the soundtrack sometime.
Well, that's the music they play, because
Yeah.
Queen does the soundtrack. But yeah, that's like the most like emotional part of that movie, is that like, and the reason that in Highlander, it's why he doesn't get involved with like the girl in Highlander. Like, he doesn't want to be,
We'll have
You
to
know,
Doesn't want to
die.
live her.
yeah, he doesn't want to go through that again.
And that was her whole thought, is she didn't want to outlive the person that she was with. So that's a
Right.
great connection.
Yeah,
Mhm,
like it was
sure.
hard enough that she was watching her daughter
Age.
age and die. So, and all the dogs.
Oh,
All the dogs.
the dog scene, that hurt more than anything. You just kill anybody.
Why would you do
else.
that to yourself? Like,
I liked it because, like,
no,
I
it
didn't-
makes sense.
Yeah, it
I'm
makes
just saying, like,
sense.
why would you, like, consistently
Get
do
the
that to
same
yourself?
dog over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made her real, though.
Yeah.
It made the character real.
Yeah.
Had-
That's
that was.
It makes sense.
And the fact that she kept getting a dog out of like the same family line, I thought that was an interesting thing to kind of like a loose tether to your life.
Hmm.
I thought that was really well done, but kill whoever you want, just don't kill the dog. Come on,
Yeah.
that broke my heart.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I thought it was really good. I thought she was great as an actor. I kept thinking that she kind of looked a bit like Helen Hunt, and then she would act, and I'd be like,
This is
she's
not
much
Helen
better
Hunt.
than Helen Hunt.
She's a superior actress.
The-
Not mad about you.
I really enjoyed.
She doesn't need to go to Helen Hunt.
I really enjoyed one of the opening scenes where she's like, it fills in her backstory of how she came to where she is, using the newsreels that
Yeah,
she's
I love
working
that
on
one.
at the library. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, and I couldn't decide for a while what I thought about the narrator, but
I didn't like his voice.
it didn't bother me after a while.
It was too sci-fi. Like, how do you put a sci-fi voice in a romance movie?
I
They
was
should've
waiting
gotten
for it
Neil
to get
deGrasse
weird.
Tyson.
But it's a sci-fi premise.
Yeah,
Well, but there's another
but it
movie.
was more romance than science.
should have had Neil deGrasse Tyson do it.
There was a movie that came out a few years ago where it was the same kind of. They had a narrator and there was a romance, but then it got really twisted with the sci-fi. Like, the character, one of the main characters, the evil character that was trying to break the couple up, he got like a really crazy, weird face, and so it could have gone weird.
I'm
and
sure
it
I've
didn't.
seen that.
I can't remember. The way I described it, I know it's good.
For a minute there, I thought it was going to be a lot like Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh, that
with
was a great movie.
with the narration just popping up throughout the movie, but it only does it in those two maybe three scenes.
Maybe the Allstate guy could have done it. I just wanted a different voice.
Dennis Haysbert?
Yeah.
Then it would have just felt like, this accident could have been prevented. Or
Yeah.
Adaline, don't worry, people. Adeline.
she goes off the edge of the She goes off the edge in her car and Flo's just standing there.
And the ducks walking by.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been amazing. I would have watched that.
The goat screams at her. All right. Well, that's our discussion for The Age of Adaline. We hope you liked it. If you like the way we do these videos, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. And thanks for watching.